Hey, what's up, beautiful people? So here's the thing. You know, you ever have like a really great day at the gym or you do something really good in life? I feel like the only time when you take notes is when it's like job related. But personally, I feel like more people, I know this is what I do specifically, right? I journal and I do it in the form of a video. And it helps me to remember not just life lessons, but it's like one more repetition. It could be for wrestling and judo or jiu-jitsu or comedy, especially comedy, 100% for comedy. And the only thing is, if I think like I'm talking out loud to somebody, I can really project my thoughts and think about it a lot more. I can get more complicated thoughts worked out that are in my mind and out. And I think you should do that too. I feel like everybody should do that because it's a great way of remembering things. If you're driving, right, like I am now, I'm actually at a stoplight, but whatever. It gives you an opportunity to externally say your thoughts and remember it. And that's been one of the biggest contributions to me and my success, whether it's on the stock market or, again, comedy, jiu-jitsu, life, whatever it is. I mean, ask yourself, when was the last time you actually wrote something down that was an accomplishment or a lesson that you learned? Legitimately, when was the last time you had you learned it was like a good life lesson or something and you wanted to build off of that? And what do? You just continue to walk forward in life and you don't really take note of it, right? So that's why I love my podcast so much, because it instills good memories, good repetitions, life lessons and stuff like that. And if I think I'm talking to myself, which right now I'm in my car and by myself, okay, that'll kind of mess myself up because you usually don't talk out loud and have a conversation with yourself. But if I act as though, and I am, if I'm talking to you, the listener, I am still thinking, and I also get to hear my own positive thoughts, that positive reinforcement. So anyway, that being mentioned, today I learned a huge lesson as far as jiu-jitsu and wrestling and judo, okay? When you do martial arts, when you want to take a guy down and you want to finish him, because again, it's a martial art, it's supposed to be effective, it's a combat, right? It's a combat system of fighting. You want to be able to finish your opponent. And shout out to the great Marcelo Garcia, because I went to the amazing Rob Abel's Marcelo Garcia in Dallas, Texas, and the emphasis was 3 principles, which is essentially of the seminar that I went to. I went to a seminar like 2 weeks ago. You want to be able to submit a person. If you can't really submit them, sweep them. If not sweep them, you want to escape. Plain and simple, right? And why that's important to know is because you always want to finish every opponent. Plain and simple, right? You want to finish them, all right? And if you're in a certain position and you're not finishing them, if you are on bottom, for example, and their body weight is on top of you, you want to sweep them. Sweeping means you want to, while staying connected, okay, get their body weight off of you and for you essentially to land on top. You want to sweep them just like a broom, right? You're taking something from the top and you're bringing it to the bottom, right? So there's attacking, which is like submitting, and then if you in a certain position and you're not submitting them, if you're not finishing them in that position, maybe you're on your back and the guy's on top of you, you want to sweep them. And if you can't really get them off of you, you need to get your body out. You need to escape. So submit, sweep, or escape. You have to be able to do those elements, A, B, and C, to every position, okay? And if not, you need to move to the next part. If you are not submitting them, you need to sweep. If not sweeping them, you need to escape. And when you escape, what do? You go back. You always start back at the top. You want to go back to submitting. That simple principle of submit, sweep, escape is so quintessential. It's so important that finally today, about 2 weeks later, I implemented it. My roles were 100% more successful. And I truly, not just Rob, this great black belt friend, etc. and more. He's so smart. In Dallas, Marcelo Garcia in Dallas, the place that I went to, but Marcelo Garcia himself, it's such a huge principle, because if you can just think about taking your thoughts, like I am now, and making them the most organized, simple thing to remember, okay? It makes complicated things seem easy. The second that you can slow down and think, everything becomes more crystal clear. Because if you're in a combat situation or a pressure situation or stand-up comedy or whatever, you want what you're doing to be simple, concise, and effective, right? And that's the power of not just jiu-jitsu, but it really is the power of Marcelo Garcia. It's Marcelo's biggest emphasis, is how simple and effective his everything is. Marcelo Garcia, in my opinion, is the most effective jiu-jitsu fighter ever, because he embodies the material of jiu-jitsu and a lot of other sports too, wrestling and judo, right? And I say that because he's not a big guy, and he's defeated big guys. Little guy beating the big guy is always a huge emphasis. I think he has more recorded submission victories than anybody else ever, okay? And the amount of time that he finishes fights are almost always the fastest as well. Now, there's a great, who's arguably now the best ever, but no disrespect, just because of the weight, I give him less credit, just because Gordon Ryan, right? He is arguably the best ever, but is it always more impressive to see a guy who's 5'0" do a slam dunk compared to a guy that's 6'4"? Of course. So I really do give the weight of the situation a big factor when I think of the greatest ever, okay? Because for him to beat the people, he would have to be smaller and get those victories for him to be equally or more impressed. So again, I'm not taking anything away from him. Anyway, I'm digressing a little bit. But the point is, this guy, Marcelo Garcia, all right, if you're bench pressing 100 pounds or 500 pounds and you weigh 100, anytime you do something that multiplies more than your body weight, I'm always more impressed, right? But not digressing about the excellence and the greatness of arguably the best ever, Gordon Ryan. Marcelo, he made my jiu-jitsu so much better, more effective. These principles that I'm talking about now are also different, maybe because he's a smaller guy compared to a bigger guy. Gordon Ryan, his matches can last like 30 minutes or 20 minutes or no time limits, all right? But that is not the style that Marcelo ever did. Maybe it's because of the rule set. Maybe he would have changed the way he fought. But from meeting him more than once and listening to him, the best way to win a fight is time. Beat them as fast as possible. Use all your energy to finish immediately first. And if you're not finishing, you want to sweep them. You want to get to an advantageous position to where that's what step 2 is, getting to like the advantageous position to go back to step 1 and finish them. And if you're stuck, you either need to sweep them, go back to number 2, or the last step, which is escape. And if you escape, you need to escape to go back on the attack, not on the defense. So for some of you, this may mean nothing. For some of you, this may mean everything. But to Marcelo Garcia and Rob Abels, I thank you so much, Rob. You're an amazing guy. Marcelo, the best ever, in my opinion. And shout out to Gordon Ryan, because he's phenomenal. I take nothing away from him. I just give more credit when people are looking at accomplishments, when someone is less physically imposing, because that really does embody the principle of martial arts, the littler guy beating the bigger guy. So Rob Abels, Marcelo, Gordon, thank you guys. I appreciate you. This has been Well Done. I'm out. Peace.